Hello. What's up, guys and gals? Howdy. Oh, Jeff, you got the Leyline shirt? Is that what you're rocking right now? Nice. When did you get that?
I just came in the mail today.
I don't even have a Leyline shirt.
Thank you, Jamie. I owe you some shipping. Thank you. Look at that. Hey.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Love it. And Al, I think this is the first time I've seen you as a human being. So you look so beautiful. Hello, JB. What's up, Will?
What's going on, y'all? How's it going? It's so good to be back in the DAO Hall.
Woo! Yeah, we're bringing it back. Bring it back bit by bit. So you just finished up the Twitter Spaces?
I am finishing it currently, which is why
you're still on it.
I will be with you all very soon, but we got a great show for you all today, y'all. So super grateful for everyone who's here, and it's so good to see you, Jeremy. Can we get some reactions in the chat? Our amazing founder and supreme overlord is back.
It's very iffy. I don't know if we should get too excited. But yeah, I hope you're going to spill over your Twitter Space followers into this YouTube. So hoping you get some nice spillover. By the way, I'm hoping I can hop into one of the upcoming Twitter Spaces that you're hosting. I know it's been a while, but let me know what's the right place to plug in, and happy to reconnect with the crew over there. So I know it's a separate audience sometimes.
ASAP. We will be talking about that post DAO Hall.
All right, man. Let's do it. All right. So on our agenda today, we've got the typical introductions, and we got a few updates to share, and then hopefully we'll be able to tackle some Q&A. So everybody watching on the stream, feel free to ask any questions you want. We're going to try to address everything you got, talk through some proposals. But why don't we kick off with Al? So this is the introductions, getting to know other DAO team members and community members. So Al, tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself.
Thanks for the intro, Jeremy. It's my I feel like it's my big debut, so a little nervous, but feeling good. Al Handy, guys, nice to and gals, nice to be here. I've been with the team for probably about a month now. I come from a traditional finance background. Spent over a decade on Wall Street, from DTCC to Ernst & Young, JP Morgan, working between finance functions and digital transformation for largely driven by regulatory change. Not as exciting as Web3 and blockchain, but I'm finding that there are some synergies between my experience and what is going on here. And I'm poking around, getting to know a lot of you, looking to help out. So right now I'm focused primarily on tokenomics and finance functions, and we'll see where it goes.
All right. No, we're happy to have you. And honestly, tokenomics, I think, is really so key and fundamental to this entire concept, working and functioning in the long run. So you're going to be playing a pretty critical role here, Al. And yeah, I definitely see in a lot of you bringing in some really good questions and good thoughts and ideas here. So this is going to be a very exciting next few months as we get this all sorted out and start to get prepped to actually launch the good token. Awesome. So it's good times.
Looking forward to it. It's a lot of great work has been done, and it's really been a great education experience for me, just reading and seeing and listening to the conversations that have been happening. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to where we're going.
Fantastic. So what was the thing that sparked you onto Web3? What was your first, discovery of blockchain and got you into this?
Well, my first discovery of blockchain was, I guess, back in 2008 when I had an iPod Touch, and there was this thing called Bitcoin. I said I should buy some, but then I was like, maybe I shouldn't, because I'm definitely going to lose this iPod Touch. And sure enough, DJing a party one night, I lost my iPod Touch. So,
wait, you had Bitcoin on your iPad? Okay.
I didn't want to be one of those stories that we hear about now, where some guy's still looking through the dumpster. The computer. So I just missed out, and I'm fine with that. But then, my first job in finance was working on credit derivative technology, and credit derivatives are contracts by nature. We were putting the legal version of the contracts into electronic form, and that kind of opened my mind to what would eventually become blockchain. And so I kind of was always interested in seeing how it developed, what use cases developed for it. And honestly, I've been learning more about the Web3 applications and sort of decentralized everything as opposed to just financial applications recently. So I was actually just reading a primer on like the gamification stuff, so and play to earn. So it's I guess fairly recent as far as Web3 blockchain I've been following for a while, and this is just really the first project that I've been able to really dig into. So,
all right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Glad to have you, Al. Really glad to have you.
Yeah, welcome. Me as well.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, next section is reserved for project updates. And I could summarize a bit of what I've been able to catch up on in the past week or so. So you guys are probably aware that we've got a leadership team set up in a DAO. Originally, we were calling it the Governor's Council, but recently we switched it to calling it to DAO Council. So the various council members are providing updates on the respective verticals within a DAO. So there's community and marketing, there's engineering, design, and product. There's finance and accounting, fundraising and revenue, et cetera, et cetera. So I could give a few quick notes and updates of basically what's kind of going on from the big picture point of view. But really, I'm just representing a lot of what the other leads are kind of organizing throughout the rest of the team. And so specifically on the product side, we are still working on getting the good protocol underway and getting that our MVP, the minimal viable product, ready to go. And a few challenges are really the verification systems and the manual process that we have and porting it over to on-chain, establishing the APIs and the smart contracts so that the Oracle, which the first one is going to be Leyline, can actually write to the ledger effectively. It's turning out to be quite complex, and so the team is still working on it. And the update that Nico provided is that we're anticipating still probably another 2 more weeks before the MVP is going to go live. So that's kind of the current state we're in when it comes to the actual proof of good protocol going live before we can start to onboard more oracles. So it is a bit of a bottleneck, and we're trying to figure out how can we actually get this moving faster. So there's a lot of work to do internal on the team to get that all in shape. In parallel, the other major component, which basically Al is a really key player here, is actually fleshing out and finalizing our tokenomics. And tokenomics, there's actually a number of key verticals or categories of work that we have to do. The first set is how do we structure the tokenomics and the amount of good tokens available designed for fundraising. So getting private investors and public sale allocations lined up, which helps facilitate a lot of the fundraising that we're due to raise capital to hire the engineers and staff that we need to build out the platform. So we're reconfiguring that initial set of tokenomics and its vested schedule so that way we can bring on the investors. The second piece is what is the actual mathematical breakdown for how many tokens can we actually sustainably airdrop to both our community members and NFT holders, as well as to the oracles that we onboard on a monthly basis. So we have Philip and Sai and Al that are working on the actual modeling of that, so that way we know in general this is how many tokens we'll be able to drop. Then the last piece is how do we set up all of the tracking and data collection to actually make sure that when this thing is live, we're tuning it correctly so that there's like actual sustainability and balance. So there's actually many pieces to making sure tokenomics works. So the team is really trying to focus on how to actually set that up correctly. And before we actually get investors on board, we have to have a good sense of how this is actually going to work in the long run. So we want to make sure we do get that right before we actually just launch an ERC20 token. Because frankly, it's actually quite easy to hit a few buttons, copy and paste, and then just mint a coin and just go boom. It's much more much more difficult to actually, have an operational platform that just won't go bunk in a matter of months. So that's kind of where the team is still very heavily focused on the development side. And Jeff, did you want to go through the snapshot proposal?
I'd be happy if you want to go through the way that it works, or I'm happy to go through both how to get set up as well as the current proposals as well.
Yeah, I say go for it.
Cool. Let's see. We've got Jason Bourne in the room. Yeah, he's got a funny guy. All right. Okay. You guys make an excellent community. Will is closing up a Twitter room. He will be right back. Let me share screen. Let's see. Let's hope my Google Chrome is updated. It is. Whoa, recursive action. All right. So let me hide that for right now. So one thing that we wanted to that I wanted to cover today, similar to what we've covered often, is, so this may be a reprisal for a number of people on the call this evening, but we are moving into a voting incentive campaign. So everybody that's on call that already has proof of good Genesis packs, if you don't know, you have a voting right within all of the proposals that are put in front of the DAO. And we use Snapshot currently for a voting mechanism on those proposals. And we also use Discourse to have discourse or to jostle back and forth on whether or not there needs to be amendments or additions or revisions to those proposals. And the reason that I bring this up is because as we continue to scale and grow as a DAO, we're looking to increase a quorum, or the minimum number of votes needed for a vote to fail or pass. And one of our most recent proposals, as we continue to scale the number needed for quorum, recently failed, which is not to say that there weren't the same number of people voting. It's just that it wasn't the heightened level that we're incrementally growing up. And so I just wanted to take some time today and walk back through what that looks like, how to create your account. How to link your wallet that has your proof of good Genesis pack so that you yourself can take action and governance rights within the DAO itself. So this is going to get a little hairy. Okay, now I'm looking at a different, never mind my hair. I'm looking over here and I'm presenting a different screen. Great. Okay. So if you go to snapshot.org/pound/proofofgood.eth, it will take you right here. I'm going to drop that over in the comments so that you can follow along on your own. It'll bring you over to the Proof of Good DAO's snapshot account, where you can see all of the votes or proposals that have been brought up in front of the DAO. You can join yourself after you connect your wallet. To connect your wallet, up here in the top left corner, click Account, click Connect Wallet. Select the wallet that you have your Proof of Good Genesis pack in, and each Proof of Good Genesis pack equals 1 vote within the governance. Now, the way that the governance in Snapshot is currently set up is that you can only vote yes or no with all of the Proof of Good Genesis packs that you have. You're not able to bifurcate your votes, 1 yes and 1 no, or trifurcate, quadrifurcate. Those aren't words. You get what I'm saying. Once you connect your wallet, okay, connect your wallet. Nobody needs to see that. Now my wallet is connected. You'll see over here in the top right-hand corner that your wallet is connected. You can join. My wallet is a hardware wallet, so you won't be able to see me connect right now. Nobody needs to know where in my room I pull that out from and what my clicky-clack code is, but you'll be able to join over here, and you'll be able to see if you click on the counselor's endorsement. This is what we were just discussing, right? So this, with 100% yes votes and 67 governance, votes for, was 100% in favor of this of this counselor's board. You can read this proposal yourself. I'll drop it very quickly over in the chat for all to review. However, this number down here is the quorum that we were looking at. And that is where we failed previously. So as we continue to grow, we're looking for that quorum number, the minimum number of votes needed either for or against to have a vote be representative of the DAO and to pass. And we're increasing that number. And so this vote for the counselor's endorsement, this proposal for the counselor's endorsement failed. And so we'll be taking on a voting incentive campaign to help engage the audience and make sure that we can hit the goal numbers that we're looking for. I should say, well, without getting sidetracked, let me back up and we'll tackle that later. One proposal that is about to be active right now is to remove the 3-day voting delay. This is at the top of our list. And you can see that the start date for this is April 14th, tomorrow night at this time. And that vote will go on until April 19th. So there will be 5 days to reach 80 votes, aye or nay, for or against. And that's the snapshot side of things. To talk about it at a 5,000-foot level. Every snapshot proposal also has a discord and is required to have, a discourse and is required to have a discourse component where we can do the amendments, additions, revisions. So you can find more about the discussion currently happening on this proposal, the remove 3-day voting delay, over here. So we see Pineapple has some concerns or some primers about why the proposal is needed. We have some support from the POG leader. We have back and forth. You have a comment from me, Jeff Shear, down here below. And this is your place to ask questions, to say, I would approve it if it said this. I can't approve this the way it looks right now, or can we add this in? This is your place to do that so that when we go back over to Snapshot, we have the greatest probability for successful approval of this proposal. So one more time, discourse is the place to make your amendments, suggest amendments, additions, subtractions, revisions, and oh, we may have a comment coming in from Jeremy through the wire right now. And anyways, and back over here on Snapshot, when it is time to vote, you'll see below this area, below the actual proposal, you'll have an option to vote yes or no, approve or deny. And once your wallet is connected, you'll be able to vote with all of the proof of good Genesis packs that are associated with the wallet that you have registered with Snapshot. So really quickly, we really want to increase the number of participants up to 200 on each vote. We have over 300 individual holders of proof of good Genesis packs, some that hold one, some that hold many, and different wallets, different users, and which is a pretty diverse and representative sample. But we're looking for a really high level of engagement to participate, and that number is 200 out of the 300 plus wallets on each vote. So while you may see that this number for quorum is 80, eventually we'll be scaling that up to 200, which should be around 60 to 70% of active available governance voters to be voting actively. And we'll be creating, engagement campaigns to incentivize that as well. But really, as a co-owner of the DAO, we want the reward to be to help us build this, to help us shape the future of the DAO, because listening to the 4 or 5 of us that are on screen right now is great, but does not a DAO make. And we need everybody's interaction, whether you are a volunteer, whether you are a POEP, whether you were engaged and got your proof of good Genesis pack because you were a POEP attendee and mission aligned, whether you're a partner, whether you're on the core team in various business units. This is something that is a requirement and expectation for all hands involved in the DAO as a 1/500th or co-owner of the DAO itself. So more to come on that, but we will be making specific to this proposal that we're looking at right here with the 3-day voting delay removal. We will be making announcements across all community channels as well as social media channels tomorrow, such that you should be informed when each vote is ready past the any delay period that you can vote on, and immediately go to Snapshot if you haven't been to the discourse already, and review the discourse, come to understand what the conversation is for each proposal, make your adjudication, and vote approve or deny. This is the way that all work. This is the way that all of the work within the DAO is going to happen moving forward for any major function, for all conversations that are available for public disclosure in the spirit of transparency. And it doesn't happen without full activation, engagement, and support from the co-owners of the DAO. Okay, so that's my little piece. I'm going to move this back over here. Thank you for that, Jamie. All right. And I think with that, we could probably, well, let's see. I think we have some questions from the audience maybe before we move on to the next section. Let's see, from Julio. Hey, Julio, shout out. Definitely would like to vote. Sometimes when I look, no options available yet to vote. Yeah, and Julio, your point's very well taken. Initially, and Jeremy, please feel free to hop in. The 3-day delay on voting was to be able to thwart any bad actors who may hold proof of good Genesis packs that are proposing something that is antithetical or acting in bad faith of the DAO. I think with current measures, there's a veto mechanism that no longer requires that 3-day delay. But if you feel differently, this would be the time to head over to the discourse and make those opinions known, and it will all be fleshed out there. If we need amendments, revisions, conditions, schedules, appendices, all that can be added, but none of it happens if it doesn't happen together.
Well, I think the other piece too is if we don't have any proposals up, there's nothing to vote on. So if anything, it's also a matter of do people want to actually submit proposals to introduce changes? So it might be worthwhile to reinforce the fact that literally anything that's on the white paper on the website on proofofgood.io is something that can be modified through proposals into the DAO. It's also what oracles we want to nominate into the DAO. And I think there's the element of how do we actually govern ourselves. So there's all these different categories through which we could submit changes. But, frankly speaking, I think without our protocol being live, there's not as much to change and govern. So I think really where the pressure is at the moment is really for our team to just be able to deliver and ship the code for the protocol. I think once things are actually live and in use, you're probably going to see a lot more people coming to the forefront with proposals and ideas, which is going to enable people to start to vote. And there is one mechanic I did want to reinforce, which Jeff mentioned earlier about incentivizing voting. Fundamentally, what we are aiming to build is actually directly a voting incentive mechanism, which is you would just be earning good points for each of the votes that you're casting within the DAO. That's one way to actually, earn while participating in governance. And also for submitting proposals too, you'd be earning good points, which then ultimately lead to you building a reputation and earning good token drops in your NFTs. So that's a lot of this really comes into play once we finally launch live with the protocol. So just throwing that out there as like the end game when it comes to incentivizing voting in proposals. And I did see as well, Kate, I saw your comment that you're interested in seeing the logic behind the tokenomics and the approach. Absolutely. I think what we'll want to do once we feel like we're in a good spot when it comes to finalizing tokenomics is actually just put this up in a DAO hall and walk through it. Al, I don't know what your thoughts are, but maybe this could be something that you'd be able to comfortable.
Yes, when we have that DAO hall, absolutely comfortable at that time.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of work, like you mentioned earlier, to still be done on it, and it's it's a heavy lift. So, but we're working towards it, and it should absolutely be out there for everyone to see and comment on. So, once we're there, we'll be up here again.
Yeah, and actually, from your take, and don't worry about like being like hard committing to something, but roughly, how much time do you think we're going to want to like continue fleshing this out? Like from where we are today and the state we're in, what's your rough estimate?
Wow, that's putting me on the spot there.
Yeah, come on, tell me.
Honestly, I don't have an estimate in mind. We spent several hours last night working through it, and we've made progress, we think. But there's one part of it is getting us to the design where we feel like we want to be, and then the other part of it is going to be based on that design, going through and cleaning up everything that already exists to make sure that all the work that has been done and people are doing is we're all marching towards the same goal. So however long that takes, it'll take. Getting it right is definitely the key, though. I
hear you. That was a very good dodge, man. You've been like practicing your judo. Thank you. All right. Okay, Will, welcome back, man. Good to see you.
Good to be back. And I had to rally some folks over here from Twitter. Speaking of which, I just want to interject quickly and say, y'all, if you're enjoying the conversation about the DAO and you want to get involved more, please jump in the Discord. We're on YouTube right now, but we are also on Discord and we're also on Twitter. And we always enjoy any feedback, any questions, and we're building this DAO together. So I just wanted to quickly throw that in there. We'll be having a DAO Talks tomorrow, Proof of Good Willow, with one of our community representatives, Willow, who's doing an amazing job of holding herself in the space accountable. So definitely come through tomorrow if you're free, y'all. And let's just keep it going. I'm glad to be back in the DAO hall. I'm glad to be back with the gang all together again, talking about saving the world. It feels good. I came over to Al's place. You can tell by my backdrop.
I was just going to say,
you guys sitting next to each other? Yeah.
We're sitting in the exact same seat, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Jeff, were there other questions that we wanted to address before moving on?
The other is from Renata Cagno, just about other rights associated with the ownership of the Proof of Good Genesis pack, Slack, Google Docs, etc. And I believe Chris maybe have already answered that with as we continue to separate Leyland and Proof of Good team communications. I suspect more options may open up. But if that's something we wanted to tackle in addition to that, absolutely, I think that would be pertinent. Although I think that answer is probably...
Yeah, I think some of this is TBD, but, I would say absolutely the entire intent of the project is to continue to grow the amount of utility and access and value you're going to get from that Genesis pack. So for sure, governance is the first thing that you're able to do within the current protocol, or rather within the current ecosystem. But we have things on the roadmap, for example, how we actually plug in and integrate into other metaverse games. And we intend to have functionality for those packs within various games throughout the metaverse, where we do have these types of conversations and partnerships now underway, and obviously in development. It's going to take a while for this all to manifest. By the way, is my video like off and not working?
No, I see that you joined Alan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man, we're all in the same house now.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
By the way, I would love to play piano again one of these days. So hoping to get a
Can you
keyboard.
please? Because I missed that. I heard that was like a thing that used to happen before the days of Will.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, like I'm very rusty. I don't really play as much, but as things as I settle down and start to find some time to play some.
Play piano for us, I will improvise sing about Proof of Good DAO over the track.
Yeah,
I will commit myself to that humility for the sake of the DAO.
I think we could make this happen at some point in the future.
Guys, I'm downstairs. Could somebody buzz me out?
It's like you're about to do a stand-up routine at the Comedy Cellar. So.
Hey.
But yeah, so to wrap up that question, it's absolutely within the roadmap where, that's why NFTs as a technology are just so amazing, because it opens up all this new functionality and compatibility and composability. So as you all know, we do have a fantastic partnership with Billionaire Zombies Club. And they are actually in the midst of building a metaverse game as well. So it is 100% in both of our team's plans to integrate, our POG packs and those Genesis packs into their game and have unique utility. And so we are brainstorming with their team in terms of how do we further open up these types of game experiences using the Proof of Good protocol, where there's entire lines of in-game items that are only things that you can earn by just doing good in the real world. So these are the kind of concepts that we're really working on right now and trying to pull together and create these alliances throughout other Web3 game projects. So that's just one other slice. And then I think probably the economic piece of it is by owning those NFTs and POG packs, we're aiming to introduce staking mechanisms where by staking your POG pack and basically, locking it in, that's what's going to qualify you for the randomized airdrops of good tokens and other potential prizes too. So we're trying to create all sorts of cool value into these NFTs. That's really part of the vision here.
What kind of game is the Billionaire Zombie Club game?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say because it's still in development. I think we should probably bring on Johnny from their community to share some of it, because they're doing AMAs quite regularly, but they tend to kind of only drop little hints and clues around what they're working on, trying to keep it a little bit closer to their chest, which I can understand. Yeah. I tend to just say everything, probably to our detriment at times, but I'm a little bit extreme when it comes to transparency.
Okay. I'll also throw some transparency on there. There are 2 POG packs right now for less than 0.1 ETH on the market. Not financial advice, y'all, but that is an under evaluation of what those are. Not financial advice, of course, but go cop those.
All right. Okay. Do we have any other questions to tackle there, Jeff?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
If you were to be starting over from scratch with DAO education, if you were going to take your journey in DAOs back to the beginning and bring people with you on that journey, where would you recommend for our new DAO members or people that are interested in joining, where would you recommend they start that journey?
As a builder or as a member?
Let's go with both. I'm down for a multifaceted answer.
Wow. Well, as a builder, I'll say this, and I'll be brutally honest. It can be dangerous starting a DAO too early, in large part because when you're starting a company and you're starting a business, it's actually quite difficult for it to happen like as, a crowdsourced idea and it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. Often it actually helps to refine down to what's the essence of you're trying to build and try to get it, propped up and experimented on as quickly as possible. The more people you introduce into that process, it's all communication and getting people aligned and like avoiding confusion and creating process and infrastructure and organization. So it actually creates a lot more overhead and potential noise that could distract you from what you're trying to build. And actually, the very first project we did, Leyline, was pretty much essentially functioned as a DAO. We brought in like tons of people to work on there. So I think that, if I were to start it all over again, I might start with just a much smaller team first and prop it up. And then once you've got your working product already ready to go, then you can introduce a lot more people to collaborate and to organize. But who knows, like we had to take the journey we did to learn the lessons we did to get to where we are today. Perhaps that level of accountability and transparency was important for people to actually believe in this thing, for this thing to really have like life and legitimacy. So, it's hard to say in retrospect what was the right or wrong thing to do, but there's some kind of balance I think that I could have struck there. As a member, I think if I were to recommend how to get introduced to DAOs, it is still a very murky space, but I think being a part of the Discord community is actually probably the number one way. That's where most of the conversation has, or rather that's where most of the energy is. So it's easy to start to follow conversations and to see who the key players are in the community and organization. That's usually a hub for telling you where to go next to say, okay, guys, a proposal is now ready for discussion on Discourse. Check out this forum. So then you get navigated over to Discourse. So you can start to browse through there, start to read through and learn and be a part of the conversation. Then they'll make the announcement to say the proposals are ready to vote on and to participate. Now go to Snapshot. I think, being in the right place, which is generally the hub of communications, is the right place to just sit there and absorb. And then what's nice is that you have direct access to everybody. You can just go ahead and post a question and say, hey guys, how does this stuff work? Like, I have no idea. Can you please tell me? And because the most engaged people are in that community, you'll get the answers and you'll get some support, and then hopefully you'll make some friends and connections. So I do think coming into the Discord is probably it may be intimidating, but it's the fastest way to learn and the fastest way to make connections within a DAO.
I love that. And when he's saying DAOs, he's referring to this DAO. Oh, I'm pointing the wrong way. He's referring to that DAO. Top right corner of the screen. It's called Proof of Good. You're in the right place, y'all.
Right. Yeah, so do join our Discord.
And we have Crypto 101 on Saturdays as well. For those that are getting started too. Do you want to talk about that, or do we have someone that wants to come up and talk to us about the Crypto 101, or do you want to get into it a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I could share, I got connected to, so the nonprofit is called FLIC, F-L-I-C, Future Leaders in Cryptocurrencies. So I got connected to them because I've got another number of other connections in the Web3 space and other builders and their advisors to, essentially they're a group of high school students that are pioneering and trying to help educate their peers. So I spoke to them. I was like, hey, listen, this is tremendously good content. Why don't you come and join our community and share some of the content and hold these workshops, and we'll incentivize it. So you guys will earn good points. The people that are attending the workshops earn good points. We'll drop POAPs and NFTs. It's a win-win for everybody. They are a nonprofit, so then they're a perfect candidate to be an oracle on the protocol. So it all just fit very nicely. And, the way I see it, where we are today, it is super important that we're educating people coming into this space. Web3 is very difficult. It's very technical. It's very obtuse, and there's a lot of jargon, and there's a lot of history, and things evolve very quickly. So I think education is probably one of the most important services that we provide as a DAO, and I think every DAO probably should end up doing that too. So yeah, if you want to just learn more of the basics, we are certainly holding those workshops, and I think we want to really expand the amount of content and support we can provide here, and really help all of you, navigate this crazy, weird space. It's very difficult. I could totally see that, and hopefully we can help out there, and hopefully you get to spread that knowledge to those around you.
Yeah, I would just second that, actually. Being new myself, and kind of new to Web3 and blockchain, being on the Discord and seeing the conversations there, going to the event space, and checking out what's coming up every week. The education part has been huge. Access to the community has been huge in terms of getting up to speed on everything, and that point about the history that's there, and everything evolving so quickly. It can be intimidating for sure at first, but because of the support of the community, it makes it less so. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think like the probably intimidating thing too is feeling like you're alone in this journey. It's like, geez, am I a dumbass here? But realistically, everyone doesn't know what the heck they're doing. It's like nice to see that you're with good people and you're going to be taken care of. So I think it's really important we create that type of environment here. And on top of that, I think it's just this whole concept. You hear about play to earn and learn to earn. Here is very much an example of learn to earn, whereas you just show up and you're there and you're part of this community and you're educating yourself and you're putting in the effort. Great, we should be rewarding you with tokens, and that should, we should be really encouraging that and giving people, even if it's a small amount of tokens, that's a start. And it's about building momentum and compounding a lot of the value that you're earning throughout the space. And the idea is that it may be one action that gets a small amount, but when you do that all over the metaverse and all these across these Web3 protocols, in aggregate, you can start to earn, a pretty useful passive income. So hopefully education gets a really nice boost as a result of this. We're just at the very beginning of all this, but I can totally see the potential.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting times. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but tons of crazy potential. And this whole space is going to take many, many years to mature and to become easier to understand and to use and to become mainstream. So we are very early. So a big part of this is also just being very patient and understanding that it takes time to really build amazing and easy user experiences. It takes time for the mainstream to understand it and adopt it and to be a part of this. But once it gets there, poof, the people that are in here early are going to benefit a lot. So stick around. That's the main message I have there.
One of the things I love about this project in particular is because it involves doing good in the real world. That's something that's very tangible to people. And so it's like, kind of putting a little teaser out there for someone to get involved. Maybe they're not interested so much in blockchain or Web3, but by wanting to do good in this way, they start to get familiar with it and they start to want to learn more. They start to ask questions, and now we're elevating the collective knowledge of society, which is pretty cool.
100%, man. I love that. I love that you catch that out. And yeah, there's so many layers of just reinforcement too, because a big part of this is it's all just like you're creating this identity and you're telling the story about yourself. And very often when we go out and volunteer or donate, there isn't any real storytelling there. You just kind of do it, and it's mostly it's almost 100% this intrinsic internal motivator, and that's beautiful. It's something we should cherish and really appreciate and respect. But unfortunately, it's not the major motivator for most people in the world. Like the major motivator for most people to do things in this world is economic and social status. Like, let's just be real. So when you start to tie that together and the data you generate for those good deeds flowing into your social reputation, your identity, and tying it to the economic rewards, that's really the key. And, I think, it's going to be tricky, I think, to really nail this, but the opportunity is like right in front of us. So yeah, it's exciting. We'll see how it goes.
For sure.
All right. So Jeff, are we jumping into the marketing section now, or did we end up generating a ton more questions?
Oh, some questions. I wish your building had an elevator. Oh my gosh, I just got up here. How's it going? It's the background. It's the same. It's the apartment. 20 minutes late. Yeah, I got to take them where I can. I'm going to hear about this later from my friends on call. Yeah, so we did have a few questions to coming in. Some of them have already been answered by community. Love to see that. Community support, community policing, and not so much the policing, but support these days. No, I think that we're good to rock. Oh, here we go. Here's one from Computer Tutorials, a regular attendee of all of our DAO halls. Hey, Computer Tutorials, Comp Toots. Will Proof of Good DAO create a P2E game in the future?
That's on the roadmap, my friend. Yeah, that's, I think that is really the end game here. And really a lot of game development is in our roots. I'm from Blizzard Entertainment, a game builder. A lot of some of the core team member and our advisors are all game developers. And it's not to say necessarily that we build the game, full vertical stack ourselves, but it's a matter of plugging in our proof of good protocol into many metaverse games. And in fact, here's a dream, is that we build a protocol that is so impactful, that's adopted by so many NGOs, nonprofits, and DAOs, that it just makes sense to plug into every possible game. Where if you're building a game and you're like, hey, I want to have like some kind of social impact, but really, can I like divert all of my resources towards like creating my own social impact vertical within my game? No, you're going to want to outsource that and actually plug into an open free protocol that's already out there and it's already doing all the hard work, and you just plug it in and create your own integration. I think that's really the aim here, where this protocol can actually just proliferate to any project throughout the metaverse. But in order for protocols to be successful, you actually have to demonstrate a good use case. So one of the challenges that many protocols face when they actually go live and launch is nobody adopts it. No one wants to build on it. So partly you have to like show the world, okay, here is how this can work. So it's why I think it's an inevitability that we end up building our own game experiences for our protocol. So stay tuned. There are big discussions in the works to actually make all that stuff become a reality. I can't share just yet because still in negotiations, but yeah, stick around. That's all I have to say there.
Now you got them all excited.
Yeah.
I think that's the hope, right? We gotta like we gotta give people like a reason to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, so with respect to time, we can go over, we got a couple of things left to cover here, both including a POAP drop for those that are in attendance, as well as a Q&A really quick. But, oh, am I glitching out?
You're still coming through, I think.
Okay, sorry. It's giving me some weird video signals here. Anyways, okay, great. Really quick with the marketing update. So if you hadn't seen the announcement in the Discord channels or across Twitter, all the Proof of Good Genesis packs available for claiming through one of 4 separate ways have been claimed. There are still a number that are reserved for marketing, promotional, and partner distribution for the highly engaged, for those that are driving value. And those are on a ad hoc basis, let's say. But we have officially basically closed down the DAO. And as I alluded to earlier, we've got over 300 owners of the Genesis packs. And with that, we've ensured a unique, organically grown DAO ownership for both earned and representative governance, which is what we've strived to do. Now that we have kind of achieved that, we'll be looking, especially as we move closer to Q3 or potential initial DAO offering or sale, taking that taking that DAO and bringing in a lot of other investor type profiles, and more to come on that. One other thing that I touched on is the voting incentive campaign. So we walked through how to use Discourse tonight. We walked through how to use Snapshot tonight. There's going to be both announced and unannounced engagement campaigns that also includes voting incentives. So please, if you do own a Proof of Good Genesis pack, please exercise your right as a co-owner of the DAO and vote in approve or denial of all the proposals that are put forth, as well as, which brings me, there's a number of ways to get involved, ways to get engaged. And for those that really go above and beyond, there's certainly opportunities to attain a Proof of Good Genesis pack for yourself. The easiest way is to go to OpenSea, as Will pointed out, with the floor price, and purchase one yourself. We are looking for co-owners that are mission aligned with doing good, making philanthropy provable and profitable. Shout out to the speaking of the announced and unannounced engagement giveaways, shout out to prominent NFT artist at All Fly Studios on Twitter, who attended last Thursday's DAO Talks with Will and won the unannounced Proof of Good Genesis pack giveaway. Didn't tell anybody about it. We encouraged people to come. We gave them a little nudge, a little whisper, psst, psst, everybody should attend. And it was a very, very engaged draw, and bringing people in that are mission aligned on Web3 that will provide value and drive the bottom line. We're not looking for people that will initially flip these, or NFT collector flippers, or POAP hunters. We're looking for people that can help us provide support and guidance, and help steer the ship. In addition to that, we're also beginning to move into paid marketing. This is something that we touched on last week's DAO Hall, and so stay tuned to that. This will be a more less NFT focused, but direct crypto style giveaway to bring people into the community, and we'll reward those that go above and beyond within our community and without our community. So as we continue to scale and bring, now that the DAO is basically closed to new users, except those that are exceptional, we are bringing in everybody else to help do good and drive the most impact across the world. That doesn't prohibit anybody that's on call or anybody that has a Proof of Good Genesis pack themselves from participating. There will be some giveaways of specific crypto that will have monetary value direct without the need for like an NFT auction. So please stay tuned. Join our Discord. That's the best way to stay attuned to it. Also, feel free to hop over to Twitter and join that as well. Let's see. We have 3.5 minutes left. Big shout out to DAO Talks. Again, we had an unannounced Proof of Good Genesis pack. DAO Talks happen every Tuesday and Thursday with Will. You can find all of those on the Discord events left-hand navigation all the way to the top in the events channel. Each week they are updated with the Twitter space. Please jump on, rep your Proof of Good Genesis pack. Come show, help us raid. Happy hours are on Friday. Game days, we had our first game day on Saturday last week where we played Gartic Bot. It was a bit of a hoot and a holler. I can't believe that we recorded it. Last week was Gartic Box Pictionary. This week we'll be doing marbles on Steam. We will be streaming it to Discord. If you want to play, hop on Twitch to play, and there will be announcements in the Discord channel about how to join and play alongside. If you just want to watch, you can do that over on Discord as well. We're also working towards the Impact event in the metaverse with Terra Zero as a world builder, tentatively for April 30th. There is, I think that's a pretty roundhouse quick way of going through everything. The last things that we've got on the tentative agenda are the POAP drop and the Q&A.
Yeah, let's do those POAPs. What's the, do we have to have everybody in Discord for the POAP drop?
Yes. Right. So yeah, release the bot, release the Kraken. So for everybody that is on call here, you are eligible for one of the POAPs that we have reserved for you for your participation in this event. And to be able to claim that, the bot will ping you directly. Normally we don't ever DM first, but in this case, this will be the bot from our server reaching out to you. To be eligible for that, head over to the Proof of Good Discord voice live stream channel. If somebody that's on right now, I'm looking at you, Hans, could drop that link to join over to that that voice live stream channel. And no, oh, Hans says no. He says he's not. He says he.
I got you, Hans. Hans has been traumatized from all the POAP administrative challenges we've run into. But yeah, I just dropped the Discord link there. That link should drop you straight into the live stream voice channel on Discord. So cross the fingers, that should work for everybody.
Okay, brilliant. POAP team didn't send the codes until
So
now.
I think the POAPs didn't come yet, or
Oh no, we didn't get the POAPs.
yeah. So we ordered them, but they're delayed. I think a lot of people are ordering POAPs.
Okay.
Oh, dearie.
Well,
You know,
sorry
part
for your
of
Hans.
so, and just to clarify, so the current challenge we're facing is, in order for us to get POAPs to drop, we have to request them from the POAP team and like the platform. And the response from that team can be very spotty or slow, or they don't even give us enough based off what we requested. So it's part of the challenge where sometimes we just won't have the right supply. Am I catching it correctly, Jeff? The issue we're running into right now?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really made me think about, man, well, one, I do think POAP's going to eventually get their stuff together and figure it out. But in the meantime, maybe there's something on our side we could do in terms of dropping an NFT. Anyway, something to think about. But it seems like it may not happen for this session, which is unfortunate.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the participation is too much, and their response rate was too little. Oftentimes, what we'll do is request, especially for our more highly attended events, above and beyond, such that we have enough for growth, and they give us a pittance of what we have requested, and so it looks like let's drop that. Let's drop that for today. We'll just appreciate everybody's participation, and Happy Hour is working on the POAPs right now. So with that being said, sorry about the miscommunication there. If it was reliable, we would do it at every event. It's just something that we're constantly battling with, us and 100,000 other Web3 projects in the POAP universe. So sorry, POAP hunters, and sorry for the engaged community. We're going to have to wait on this one. With respect to time, we are 1 minute over. If people have questions we can answer, we can drop them right here and we can tackle them right now.
Did anything pop up on chat? I don't know if I saw any other open questions on chat. Yeah, Hans, I think that's a good idea. We should start knocking on doors for the POAP team. Oh, Jason, thank you for the question. Ooh, that's a perfect one for Jeff.
Yes, absolutely. Jason Bourne, thank you for your question, and I appreciate you attending the meeting, and I'm sure you've got bad guys to fight or terrorists abroad that you're hunting or chasing. But
yeah, don't assassinate us.
Yeah. Yes, influencer marketing is always something that we're open and looking towards and engaging in Will Gaines, with All FOMO No FUD, shout out All FOMO No FUD, along with a brilliant team, are always looking to bring people on board. One of the challenges that we are constantly facing is, of course, working through a pre-seed, seed, and funding round before public sale, and to find mission-aligned influencers that are as, let's say, esteemed or actualized as some of those on call or some of those in our network are quite difficult to find. If you have access or you have those connections, or you yourself are an influencer who wants to be involved in the project, there are certainly rewards and incentives, as well as future compensation that we're looking to bring people on board to basically ring the bell tower, or as Jeremy says, make sure that we're ringing the bell tower and not shouting in an empty room, right? And it's important that we, okay, just going to bring that up. And so, we're always looking for influencers. We've looked through Social Blue Book. We've reached out to kind of existing influencer connections, and it's a hard sell to make people understand how philanthropy can be provable and profitable in itself. To make influencers understand that is even more difficult than investors. And so if you have access, if you want to open up a line of communication, or you yourself want to get involved, we're always looking for dedicated and mission-aligned individuals that can help ring the bell tower in the right ways, to the right audiences in the right places. Sometimes, or an analogy I like to use is, sometimes we cast a very wide net and we expect to capture 5% out of that group that we reach. Sometimes we cast a very deep net and we expect that conversion rate to be much higher. And we're, of course, exploring all these options. So yeah, thanks for the question. Feel free to contact us on Twitter, or find me over on Discord as well. If you've got a network, and certainly within the gaming or NFT world right now, I think that's pretty potent. We'll be moving closer to the IDO and sale dates, with a bit of a shift in marketing over to the retail investor style networks, as well as the crypto whale networks as well. But influencers across the board, anything that you can do, let me know. And like I said, there's still an allotment of proof of good Genesis packs for those that are highly mission aligned and highly engaged with the project. So let's talk.
Yeah, and I think one thing I'd add there as well, we also want to be judicious about when we're doing bigger marketing pushes and blasts. I think it is also really important that we've got the actual protocol live and have like a very tangible product that we've onboarded oracles already before we want to blast it really big. Because the last thing we want to do, a lot of this community we've pulled together now is actually purely through organic marketing, which is we're just trying to appeal to the people that can see this vision, can understand the full potential, and you're really here at the ground floor building this thing and co-creating this with us. So we're not even like really at the stage yet where we're like really want to blast the marketing, because we're going to end up getting a ton of people come in and just like, hey, where is this thing? Like, oh, I didn't come here for a belief. I want to come here to use the thing. So partly we're trying to be smart about just the timing of when we want to push hard. And we realize that we do have to take our time to make sure that we actually are delivering that product first and have kind of battle tested it. So that's just another piece of context there in terms of when we want to activate more of that influencer marketing. Jeff, I saw also Anani had a question about if we have a few POAPs, can we convert it into a token? Ada, we haven't actually solidified plans for this. We do have it on a docket where initially we were dropping the POAPs to get people on the good lists to get their free Genesis pack. But now that we're finished distributing all those initial Genesis packs, we do have to figure out the next set of rewards that we're going to provide for POAP holders. It is in our intent to reward our core community and the most dedicated community members with all the POAPs that they brought in. So there is an incentive, certainly, for you to keep on collecting them. We have not yet figured out what it will be. It could include things like having special access to private channels in our Discord, or special events, or it could be you get whitelisted or good listed onto the pre-sale for the good token. So there's a number of options that we can kind of bring into the fold, but we just haven't finalized that yet, what exactly that will be, or what amount of POAPs is required to actually qualify for those tiers. But I think there's certainly a lot we could do to build a nice reward and loyalty program for POAP collectors for proof of good POAPs. So yeah, keep on collecting them, and we have to keep on dropping them. So hopefully we don't get screwed by POAP over and over again. We got to try to sort that out.
Yep, 100%. And we're looking into, to your point, Inani. Heads up to Inani, one of the winners who is highly engaged with our community, who won a proof of good Genesis pack from one of our previous campaigns. So heyo, shout out. But we are looking into incentivization campaigns also for good points being allotted, as Jeremy described earlier, with like voting mechanisms and exercising your voting rights as well. So there are a number of ways for those that are already in the community to continue to earn good points or qualify for exclusive drops or giveaways or contests or competitions that we're continuing to explore.
By the way, this might be a proposal I submit in the near future, but we are kind of debating internally if we should migrate from good points to impact points, because there might be some confusion between the good token that we create, which is the cryptocurrency and ERC20, and the good points, which are the kind of soul-bound, unique to an individual, like points that are non-tradable. We do have to potentially adjust the branding on that one. So anyway, minor tidbit I want to just, minor bomb I want to throw at you guys. So something to think about. So stay tuned. I think you guys are going to get to decide as a DAO what we end up like rolling with over time.
It's brilliant. I think that's about everything that we've got from the audience. A lot of shout outs, a lot of Jason Bourne jokes. But I think that's it. I think that's it for content for tonight.
Yeah, welcome, Jason Bourne. It's good to have you. It's good to have an assassin on our side. I'm thankful for that.
I like that. That's nice.
All right, guys. Well, it looks like that's a night. Jeff, thank you for hosting, guiding us. Will, great to see you again, my friend. And always sweet seeing you in Twitter Spaces. Thank you, Jamie. And bye, everybody. Bye, lovely community. Stay tuned. We are still working on this. We're going to push forward. Be patient and hang in there and keep an eye on things. It's gonna be a fun year. Gonna do some cool stuff.
We're here for it, Jeremy. Thank you for all this, y'all. Let's keep it going. We'll see you tomorrow in DAO Talks. And we'll see you all in the spaces. We'll see you in the Discord. And we'll see you next week for our next DAO Hall.
Bye-bye.